So whether you're thinking about a life of full-time travel or a nomad life, what is the difference? Are they the same? We're going to tell you all about the pros and cons of our lifestyle. That is a lifestyle of full-time traveling as nomads. And stay tuned. We've got 4 or 5 of them. Who are we?
We are Chris and Steve, EatWalkLearn. We've been traveling the globe for the last 3+ years. And it's really fun to just kind of sit back and say, what is this lifestyle all about? And, what is it that we're doing that's different than people who go on long-term vacations or short-term vacations? Yeah. What is this full-time travel lifestyle really all about?
Yeah, what is nomad life?
What is nomad life?
So when we talk to our fellow nomads or our fellow full-time travelers, so first of all, we think of nomad life as what we do. That is, we travel full-time, we don't own a house, we don't have a storage unit. Everything we own is in, right now, one carry-on suitcase. And we travel 1 month at a time, usually, around the world, staying as long as we can or as long as we want or till we're ready to go or when we're ready to leave, right? And sometimes people also call that full-time travel. Now, there are different variations of this. Some people might own storage units, or maybe they only travel 9 months out of the year, or maybe they do 6 months on, 6 months off. The point is, we're not expats. We're not permanently resided someplace. And we are always on the move. The speed of that move may vary from over couples or people or individuals, but we're always on the move. Do you think that's a good definition of nomad life?
Yeah, I think that's a good definition, but I think it's kind of a mentality as well, is that we return to the United States and we spend time in the United States, but we don't have any permanent location there, so it's not like we've left and we're never coming back. Also, we like to follow good weather, so we don't want to be in some place where it's too hot or some place where it's too cold. So that's kind of make some decisions about where we want to travel. And we also look for, intentionally, interesting things that we want to do. And we've just done recently a video about hiking and cycling. And those are some of the things that we enjoy doing, and we enjoy doing them around the world.
And I think if you ask anybody in the nomad community, why do we travel? And everybody always says we want to learn about different cultures, we want to live in different cultures, we want to eat different foods, speak different languages, and learn about different things. And that is, I think, a lot of people who go on vacation, maybe they're going to go see particular sites, but they're never really long enough there to learn about the culture or learn about the local customs. They're just kind of dropping in and dropping out. We're trying to stay long enough in those locations to at least learn a little bit more than just how tall the Eiffel Tower is.
Yeah, so kind of we've broken this down into, I think, 5 or 6 pros and cons about what we see about nomad life and how that differs from a regular vacation kind of travel. And I think we already got into the first one.
Yeah, so the pro is see the world, see everything, go to all the countries you want to go to, meet all the people you want to meet, eat all the food, drink all the wine. And the con is, oh man, does that take planning. How much planning do you think we do?
We try to limit it to 1 day a week when we really, ask each other questions. You're like, where are we going in February, and where are we going to stay? And, or even just more esoteric things like, what do you want to do next year? Kinds of things where what I like to go back to, the pro is that nomad life is freedom. You can do anything you want, whenever you want. But then the con side is, once you plan it and once you put it on the calendar, you kind of lock it in. And you kind of.
But the planning, it does take a lot of time. It's reservations and confirmations and changes and time schedules and connections and logistics and hotels. And does it have a pool? Does it not have a pool? Does it have a good bed? Does it have a good location? It takes so much time. And when we fellow nomads get together, that's all we really talk about is, where'd you go? How was it? Where are you going? Can you recommend it? And try to shortcut some of the planning time. But it takes a lot of planning. If you can imagine what it might take to plan a vacation, every week in the relationship to planning, every week is a vacation. You got to plan every single day, because every night, if we haven't planned it, we don't know where we're sleeping. So
I think a couple of good examples. The one that comes to my mind is We're in Riga, Latvia right now. Riga is a beautiful city. Love it here. We actually, when we were planning this, we wanted to be in the Baltic. It's the middle of August, and it's a great place to be for this time of year. And when we settled on Riga, it took a while to pick a place to stay. We went through Airbnb. Sometimes we don't do that, but this time we did. And it wasn't until about a month out that we were arriving here that we went back and looked at the reviews of the place again, of the place that we picked, and we actually had already paid for. And we
said, no, this is not going to be good.
Yeah. So we had to start all over again.
So anyway, it takes a lot of planning. And it's going to take more planning than you think. So you get better at it, but it still takes a lot of planning. Okay, pro and con number 2. Pro, you get to slow down, enjoy all the local culture, try all the things, take the cooking class, go for the long walk, take a long reposition cruise instead of a flight. And it's just chill.
It is. It's not chill. You're definitely slowing down. You're definitely not at that fast pace as you would be if you were on vacation. But actually, sometimes we do like the fast pace. So this is kind of the pro and the con at the same time. We like to get someplace and then, and leave and go someplace different and not spend a lot of time in one location. So
do we really have a con there? The con is, I guess, you're not on vacation. This lifestyle is not vacation every single week. We're living your life, and we occasionally have vacations thrown in.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Pro number 3. You get to you get to holiday in fabulous places. Margaritas on the beach at Christmas time. The Sydney fireworks show for New Year's. All these great places that you get to go for your holidays and your vacations. And the con is...
You want me to say it?
Yeah.
Well, you're not going to have all those traditions that you used to have in your previous lifestyle. So, you may not have a Christmas tree or
or a favorite mug for your hot cocoa or a favorite Christmas album to put on the record player at home. You can probably recreate a lot of that, but the originals and the traditionals that you had, you don't have those anymore. But you do have a margarita on the beach at Christmas time.
You do. You can have a margarita on the beach.
Okay, number 4. You can be flexible, especially when it comes to transportation. You can take planes, trains, and automobiles. You don't have to worry about parking a car. You don't have to worry about any of that. You can just go wherever you want to go when you want to go.
Yeah, I definitely like the idea of not having to drive and not owning a car, not having to worry about paying for my, auto insurance and gasoline and all the upkeep of, having a vehicle. The downside of that is it might take a little bit longer to get places, and you might have to get back to the planning thing. It definitely has to be a little bit more strategic in where you go and how you get there.
I look at this as I'm always sitting in the back seat somewhere. I'm in the back seat of somebody else's car. I'm in the back seat of a taxi. I'm in the back seat of an Uber. I'm on a bus. I'm never in the driver's seat, in the front seat, being a passenger in the front seat. I'm always somewhere in the back seat.
Yeah, and if you had a car and you owned a car and you wanted to go someplace, it might take, an hour to get there. But if you have to rely on somebody else in public transportation, it might take 3 or 4 hours to do the same thing. I
mean, you certainly can rent a car, but there's all kinds of pros and cons to renting a car. So, okay, number 5. Nomad life is absolutely a life of minimalism, but you can absolutely tap into the systems of the world to have a maximism life, right? So what does that mean? So when you're a minimalist like us, you've got one carry-on, you've got all your stuff in there, but we feel like we have an absolute life of luxury because we tap into the Goodwills of the world, the Swap Meets of the world, trusted house sitters of the world, Airbnb, and these systems, trusted house sitters, Airbnb, and Goodwill, let's say, they provide us everything we need at the point that we need it. It's just-in-time needs. So if I need a jacket because we're going to go up to the mountains today, we're going to maybe take the trolley up to the mountains and go see some viewpoint where it's chilly up there, I'll just go to Goodwill, get a jacket for the day, and off we go.
Yeah, and we talked about a little bit about cruising, and we've taken a lot of cruises and a lot of repositioning cruises. And when you're on a cruise, it's like the ultimate in luxury and all-inclusive hotel that's floating on the water. You got all your food. I mean, everything that you need is taken care of. Swimming in the hot tubs and the saunas and the spa and
and all you need, everything you need.
So it's not
actually everything you want.
Everything you want. It's not a feeling of minimalism. But then also, we're in an Airbnb right now. We have a microwave and a toaster, and that is all the appliances that we have.
And it's okay. And if we needed a blender or an air fryer, we just go down to the store and buy one. If it costs us $20 to get a blender, we do that, and we donate to the Airbnb when we leave. So it's all good. So the last pro and con we want to talk about is you get to try so many places to live. You can live in the city, you can live in the country, you can live in Waterview, you can live in an apartment, you can live in a house, you can live on a couch, you can live in a tent. I feel like a Dr. Seuss. You can live here, you can live there. And the con is you're gonna be uncomfortable a lot.
This is another theme that's come up quite a bit. Is you have to deal with a different pillow that you might not like so much, or the bed is firmer or softer than you expect. Where we are right now, again, we've got to walk up 5 flights of stairs in order to get to our apartment, which is probably a little bit.
I'm okay,
but it's okay because we're trying to get our steps in.
Literally, her steps in. But you do find yourself a little bit in discomfort everywhere. You're never quite completely comfortable as you were when you were in your house way back when you owned a house. But again, the pro is that you get to try out all these places and see what you really like, and that's what's probably been the most fun of it all. Yeah,
we like to say that we're on a 5-year international house hunt. Maybe it'll be 10 years international house hunt, but it gives you an opportunity to go to all different places and try different things and different neighborhoods and cities and really explore and really find what you like.
So if you are thinking about being a full-time traveler or having a nomad life, what are some of your concerns? What are the questions that you have? We're going to do another video here shortly about the myths, and we're going to get into cell phones and medical insurance and all the things that we get asked all the time. But this is more just helping you, if you're thinking about becoming a nomad or you think about being a full-time traveler, these are some of the things you might want to think about. If you're trying to convince somebody or a spouse or whatever, share this video with your spouse so you can talk through these pros and cons. If you're already a nomad or a full-time traveler, add pros and cons to the list, would you? We'd love to hear what you have to say. We'll see you next week. Have a great time. You're a truck kind of guy, aren't you?
I'm a truck guy.
You're a truck guy. We need to cut that part out.
We got a microwave oven.